Hello everyone, my name is Casey and welcome to my first video
with bangs.
I know that it's a big change, but honestly, you're just gonna have to get used to it and we will get through this together. It was fake go along. Yeah, that's right. I almost feel like bald now without them. If you feel as though you can't trust me anymore, I understand, honestly. I hope that eventually, through the course of this, I will be able to regain your trust. I want us to have a good relationship that has a strong foundation, so I'm sorry for deceiving you. Like most people, I was an avid reader of historical fiction when I was a kid. Like, you probably were also doing the same thing. I liked the American Diaries. I liked Princess Diaries. Not the one that had Anne Hathaway star in it. I liked Sauvé. Anyone remember that one? And of course, the OG American Girl. Yes, like the average person, I was obsessed with these little ladies from different historical eras. My local librarian once told me that no, I was not allowed to take out like all of the books in one of the girls series because that just wasn't fair to other people. But honestly, what about me? What about me? Of the dolls, I only owned 2 of them because $100 dolls then and now is still very expensive. I had a custom doll and then I had the OG Samantha Parkington. We all love her. We all want to be her because she's a rich little... Who doesn't love the tales of the bourgeoisie? And I mean, of the original 3, who was I supposed to pick? Molly? Because again, I never got any extra accessories. The dolls themselves were already very expensive, and as were their accessories. But I always knew what little piece of clothing item I would have chosen. I can make all of my dreams come true. Why stop at getting a dress for a little doll I gave to my cousin Kitty like a decade ago? Why stop there? I need to go bigger, bolder. I'm making the Cranberry party dress. I start my journey by making a mock-up of my dress form, using some extra sheets I had gotten from the thrift store, as it's a cheaper alternative to using something like muslin. Now, the dress has a couple of parts. It consists of the top, front and back, skirt, again front and back, the sleeves, and the lace overlay. There's also the cuffs for the sleeves, the waistband, and the ribbon that goes both in the hair and along the waist. In order to stay comfy and cozy, I'm wearing my huggle, which is the latest in winter party fashion. I am what some would call a fashionista. I do need a break from modeling, however, and decide to take a stop at Best Buy. Okay, I'm back several days later, and I'm a pepper shirt. So when looking at our good friend Samantha's outfit, turns out that the neckline pretty much goes all the way up here, so I'm just gonna have to add another piece. And see, this is what's good about making a mock-up before you cut into your real fabric because of mistakes like this. It doesn't have to look very pretty, it's just gotta get on there. The fear of messing up is real, though, I mean, I kind of just do it anyway, even if I've messed it up, so. Okay, I just took like a several hour break because, I just feel like perhaps I have like first cut anxiety. What you won't believe is that I actually found some PDFs of these books made by the Pleasant Company, the American Girl doll company, that actually has patterns for how to make the dresses for the dolls. I feel like it'll be a nice guide for me. Good find. This book was really helpful because it just showed things like, oh, like the skirt is just a rectangle and all sorts of little bits of construction advice here and there. So I just use it as a reference occasionally. So I cut out the pieces for the top, the front and back, and then I sew them together. I'd recommend that if you're doing this to use 2 pieces of fabric for each in order to have a lining layer. I didn't think I would have enough fabric to do so, so I didn't do that. There are times that I will come to regret this during the process of fabric construction. Then I moved on to the sleeves, making the shoulder area a bit wider to give it that Victorian puffy look. Also, because I have a notorious habit of making the sleeves too small, so adding the extra room is very helpful there. Then I just sewed the sleeves right side facing to close them up. The sleeves might also benefit from using 2 layers as opposed to 1. After this, I used a ruler to just cut a straight line for that rectangle of fabric, cutting out 2 pieces for the skirt portion. I had the front and back, and then I sewed those right sides facing. I want the skirt to be bunched up, so I sewed a single stitch across the whole length of the top of the skirt, not back stitching. Then I grabbed a single thread and began pulling. Look, a cat! Anyway, cut a strip of fabric the length of your waist with a little extra space for seam allowance and a zipper. You're going to want to fold it over the top of the skirt to create a waistband. So if you're so inclined, iron it. I'm usually allergic to ironing, but that's because it's a pain to pull the ironing board out. For this case, I made an exception. I was most definitely watching something, but I'm not sure what, so today's recommendation is the murder improv comedy show Murderville on Netflix. When done, line up your ruffled skirt edge with the waistband and make necessary adjustments to the ruffles to make it fit, either pulling or making it more ruffled. Then fold it over and sew it. You know, I'm supposed to be studying for a final exam, but here I am doing this instead. I sewed a single stitch on the shoulder part of the sleeves and then started pulling the ruffle, just like I did the skirt. I'm running into a problem David doesn't want to acknowledge or recognize. I don't have bangs. I do not have bangs, but you know who does? You know what little bourgeois child in 1904 has? She has bangs. And she's got American Girl doll teeth, but mostly bangs. Wow, David has a solution for me.
Milady, care to watch some anime?
No, I don't care to be doing any of that, so I go to attach my Victorian sleeves to the dress. This is something more appropriate for a proper young lady of 1904 to do. And then here's what the sleeves look like. I really like how they've turned out. So then I just sew on the other side. Nice. Divvy said I look like a clown. I might be on my way to clown college, but trying on the top for size, and it's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased so far. The neckline is choking me to death, so I will be kind of taking it down, probably like 2 centimeters. I'm gonna be adding a band onto it anyway. It's so tight, I feel like I'm dying. I cut out a piece for the neckband, which is also just a long rectangle strip, and it's gonna be sewn directly to the neckline, right sides facing once again. Kind of like real life, huh? The 2 right sides always clashing, or maybe not. I don't know where I was going with that. Did you guys know that I almost fainted again? That's so fun. So I solved the bang problem by ordering some clip-ins, and surprisingly the color is very accurate to my hair. You can tell if you're really looking that it's not my hair. I think it's kind of fun. Maybe I'll try and fool someone. We went back to Best Buy and we saw a sign of what was to come. Hi. In case you requested that I record. It's Waluigi! It's Waluigi! Wow. I love him. After that, I decided to attach a zipper. I know there are zipper feet for machines out there, but I don't think I have one and I forgot to get one, so I do my janky best to get those zippers attached. We found our friend at the Burger King drive-thru, and he tried to order with us. How silly, we're not employed. Putting the waistband under the top, I just top sewed it on, because like I said, it's legal in your state to do things wrong if you can hide it. I've just decided to sew on top because it's gonna be covered with a ribbon, so it doesn't matter. You're allowed to do things like that. You're allowed to. It's not a crime if you don't get caught. So sewing that on, and we're starting to get real close to being actually done with making this dress. It's definitely having like little Victorian girl vibes. I'm loving this so far. Mummy, I don't understand why people are poor. She's an American girl, so I don't know why I had a British accent there. I think now I'm just hemming the bottom. I'm not doing it at the end for once, which is actually kind of crazy. So the zipper broke, which kind of is a problem. Which then necessitated some solutions. So the back right here doesn't quite line up right because I had to do some sort of pinching and pulling. After recording, I did undo the stitching on the back and fix it, so now it's like mostly lined up, I guess, because, say it with me, it's legal to hide things. For the cuffs at the end of the sleeves, I cut off a few inches toward the wrist and measured some elastic around my forearm area. I want it to be bunchy where the sleeve ends and the cuff begins. Then I sewed a small tunnel for the elastic to live in and snaked it through using a safety pin. All this work made me hungry, so David and I went into Boston to go to the original Pizzeria Regina, but this did not sate my hunger. I also considered stealing this DoorDash order at the mall, but I didn't, because I am a good person, and it would be hard to get away with this crime. As we go into the December month, it becomes closer to party time and eventually dress time, but I'm a creature who loves to procrastinate, so I wrapped presents. I went caroling with my cousins who all didn't care as much as I did, and laid on the floor of a study room instead of studying. I finally returned to my sleeves after all this. I made some cuffs and began what looks like a tedious process of attaching sleeves, and it was. I wanted a very specific look that honestly was not possible because I only used a single layer of fabric. To say that I spent hours trying to put inconsequential detail onto these sleeves is an understatement. So sad. To avoid thinking about the sleeves I wasted a night on, I began draping the lace and began to cut. One fun fact is that the lace is actually rainbow on one side, so you have to be very careful to, sew it correctly. But again, I took a break to go see some lights. Then it was back to it again. Luckily, the lace overlay is pretty much the general shape at the top, so it's not too difficult to draft, and you just add some scalloping at the bottom. After that, I attached the lace at the neck, and I decided to move on to adding the ribbon to the waist. I chose one with wire to give it a little bit more shape and structure, and I sewed it directly on, just following the seam at the waist. For the rest of the lace, there's a little bit of scalloping at the shoulders, so I just cut out 2 weird strips to go along. But unfortunately, I needed another break to celebrate finishing my finals, and also I decided to become ill.
So I may be deathly ill, but I am... You can see me. So I may be deathly ill, but I'm sewing. I am putting my body, my soul, my life on the line to make this. That's how important this is. That's how integral completing this dress is to my life, knowing the consequences.
So I took some lace and folded it over the collar and sewed that on. Then I hemmed the edges of the shoulder scallops. I'm really hungry right now. The talk of scallops is making my tummy rumble. Then I attempted to tie a pretty ribbon to sew into the waist, but it took a while because, again, it's an attempt.
With the last of my strength, I am finishing this dress. Try not to cough.
I attached the scallops to the sleeves along the hem. Also, I ruffled them using the pull stitch technique. I made sure to point the ruffles up so that the ruffles would fall back over themselves to make that waterfall kind of effect and make it look more voluminous. And I was getting sick of the lace overlay moving around, so I pinned them down exactly where I wanted them, because if you sew it wrong, then it's not going to look good when you're actually wearing it. I considered fabric glue, but when I went into my craft bucket, the glue had leaked out all over a whole bunch of things, most of which I was able to salvage, thank goodness, but I did have to throw away a spool of thread, which was sad. Then, craving pizza again, I decided to make a short trip to my local New York City. I hear some good things about this place, and I had to see it for myself. The pizza was good. Also, the dress is done. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Samantha, an American girl. I'm really rich. I don't like the poor, but you can't say I'm a bigot because my best friend isn't Irish. I was born in 1896, and the year right now is 1904. I'm very clearly the best American girl. If you're a Molly fan, get out of here. Both of my parents died in a boating accident. Lame. Who even is Molly? Pretend I'm holding Samantha, the American Girl doll that looks just like me. We have the same bangs. But then my grandma adopted me and she's rich. My best friend's name is Nellie. She's the Irish I was talking about earlier. So pretty. It's my album cover.
I'm really rich. I'm like extremely rich.
Yeah, I mean, Molly is not cool. Like, whatever, the Swedish one, Kirsten, I don't know. We don't really get along. Kit, she's cool, but she's also poor. But I'm rich, I have servants. I'm of Irish descent, don't come at me, okay? I'm a beautiful little rich girl in a rich girl's world. 1904, a good year, way before we let women vote.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I don't believe in the poor. I took my bow out for us to go to the grocery store. I'm in disguise.
How do I look?
You look really good.
We stopped out to get some dinner with some friends, despite the fact that 1904 Samantha probably didn't eat Thai food, if I had to guess. No one ever probably took her bangs off either.
On the animals. I hate.
How would you rate this dinner on a scale of like not normal to normal?
1 Nick with bangs out of 10.
Is that not bangs?
Ladies, you can't park here.
I'm an American girl, thank you. I thought this was the America for girls. Freedom's not free. She's a beautiful, wonderful, perfect American girl.
My life, huh? Yeah. You want my life, my American girl life, so bad, don't you? Pathetic. And so that is how I made Samantha's cranberry party dress for the bougiest little girl in the American Girl lineup. before I go, I did have one promise to fulfill. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it.